Hey everybody, this is Rustin back here on Metalholic Radio. You just heard brand new Volbeat, Cape of Our Hero, and right now with us, Rob Caggiano of Volbeat, and of course, formerly Anthrax, The Damn Things. How's it going, brother?
It's going good, man. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Looking forward to see you in town for myself a couple of nights from now.
Cool.
A lot of great stuff happening for you over the last course of the year. It's been huge for you, playing Mayhem with Anthrax, making the tough call to walk away and focus on production, only to find yourself right back in another great band with Volbeat. Can you sort of take us through that journey from your perspective?
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy time right now, but it's all good. Yeah, basically, the whole thing with Anthrax went down. It's something I've been thinking about for a while, and I'm really proud of everything we accomplished together. I love those guys. They're, my second family. But, yeah, it just got to the point where, I just found myself, just kind of felt like I was spinning my wheels. I don't know if that makes any sense to me, but, yeah, my heart wasn't into it anymore. And I think the main reason is, Anthrax was never a creative outlet for me, and I think that's where that feeling came from, when there's no emotional attachment to the music you're playing every night, and it's just, I guess it just got to me, So yeah, basically, so when that went down, these guys in Volbeat, Michael would caught wind of that, and he gave me a call and was asking if I was interested in going over there to work on the new record with them. And yeah, of course, I was, it was like the perfect timing, the perfect situation. So of course I said yes, and I've been a huge fan of Volbeat for a long time, since they took my other band, The Damn Things, on tour a few years ago. That's when I first got introduced to their music and became friends and all that. So yeah, basically, I said yes, and I ended up in Copenhagen very shortly after that. And when we start, basically the way it happened was we started going over the tunes for the new record. Michael was showing me the new songs, and there were a lot of songs were already finished and ready to go, but there were a few songs that weren't totally finished. And so Michael was asking me questions like, Rob, what would you do here in this section, or you have any ideas for this part, or this and that? And of course I had tons of ideas, and I said, yeah, let's try this, or let's try that, or let's try this riff, or whatever. And we were just collaborating, and the vibe was awesome, and I was being creative, which is killer. And I haven't, it's a great feeling, because I haven't been able to do that in a little bit, So, and then one thing led to another, and started recording, and the record started taking shape, and there was just a chemistry and a vibe, and a working relationship that was really, really cool. And, I think it was like, 2.5 weeks into the process, the guys asked me if I'd consider being in the band. And I was just totally blown away by that. One, because I'm not Danish. I'm a New York guy. So, it definitely took me by surprise. But, it didn't take me too long to say yes, man, because it's a really good situation. It's perfect for me, and I'm having a blast. I love the music. And, I ended up playing tons and tons of guitar on the record, and it's just killer. It's just a really cool thing.
Well, that sort of answered my second question that I was going to ask, because one of the things that you had mentioned when you stepped away from Anthrax also was you had wanted to not spend as much time on the road, but the pull had to be really strong for you to immediately jump back into another full-time band, because you're right back out on the road.
Yeah, well, that's interesting, because I've been hearing that a lot, like when I do interviews lately. But I think basically maybe I worded it wrong, and when I did the press release, I think a lot of people misread that or misinterpreted, what I was trying to say. It was never about not wanting to be on the road. It was more about, when I decided to move on from Anthrax and make a change. Just in my head, the idea was, maybe I'll book a couple of production gigs and do a few records, that would bridge the gap until I figured out what I wanted to do as a guitar player, what my next move was going to be. But never for a second did I think I was not going to be out there touring again. That's who I am. I'm a touring guitar player. I love making music. I love playing in front of people. It's in my blood, So I think a lot of people misinterpreted that.
And you're still a very young guy, too. So now you were brought in to work on some production elements and throw down some guest solos on the new Volbeat album, Outlaw Gentlemen and Shady Ladies, which comes out April 9th. Make sure everybody get out and get a copy of it. They already have a stellar producer in Jacob Hansen. What were they hoping you were going to add to the mix?
Well, I think what led these guys to call me, I think what it is they felt almost too comfortable with their, recording situation.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I guess they were afraid of repeating themselves, and they wanted to push themselves and try different things and, take things to the next level. And, you can never do that if you keep doing the same routine over and over again. And I totally understand and get that. And I totally get where they're coming from. That's one of the main reasons why I was like, wow, this is killer. This is going to be a lot of fun, and it's very exciting. But I think that's, like I said, I think that's why they called me initially. And, one of my goals with this record, one of my main goals as a producer was to capture the energy and the magic of their live show, on
right.
tape, which is something I felt was always a little lacking on their previous records. Not that they're awesome records. It's just there's a certain thing that happens in Volbeat live, and it's similar to Anthrax as well. There's a certain thing that happens when a band plays, and especially in front of a crowd. There's a vibe and an energy, and I really wanted to try to capture that on this record. We did a bunch of stuff differently, and from what they've done in the past, and I think it worked really, really, really well. And the record came out stellar.
And from everything I've heard so far, it's definitely got more of that live feel to it. And there's much more guitar on this album. Does that make this the heaviest Volbeat so far, in your opinion?
I definitely think so. I mean, the heavy stuff is extremely heavy. And, one of the things that we did as well, and this is kind of right around the time, like, when they asked me to join, what ended up, initially being, hey, Rob, can you play a couple of solos on the record? It started morphing into something totally different as we started working. And what ended up happening is, well, to backtrack, I mean, in the past, Michael would usually lay down all the guitars on the Volbeat records. And, he kind of wanted to break away from that. And so that kind of led to a different recording approach. And basically what we ended up doing is I'm playing all the guitars on the left side, Michael's playing all the guitars on the right side, Andrews is in the middle, and John is all over the place. So what you're hearing on tape on this new record is actually a full band, and that's, I think, what brought it to a new level. You know what I mean? It just sounds fresh, and it's got this killer energy throughout.
Volbeat's never been shy, as you sort of already mentioned, about trying new things and pushing boundaries. And
right.
Obviously this album's going to be heavier, but there's also been some allusion to some country vibe-ish stuff, the old Western stuff.
Totally.
What can fans expect from the new record, obviously, besides more guitars?
Wow. I mean, it's just a really well-rounded record. There's a lot of great melodies, a lot of great tunes, some really catchy stuff, really heavy stuff, some thrashy moments. And like you said, there's a strong Western theme throughout the whole record. I mean, lyrically and musically. And it's one of those things, I've been trying to explain this to people for a few weeks now since we started doing interviews and stuff, but it's hard to explain. It really is. You just kind of just need to hear it, to understand what I'm trying to say. But there is a mood and a feeling that's kind of throughout, kind of weaves in and out of the record. And when you listen to the record top to bottom, it totally makes sense, and everything works together. It's synergy,
Well, good. We only got a few more weeks to wait on that, so. And Volbeat has a very unique sound. How did you slide into it and give it your flavor while remaining true to the band's signature?
Basically, I have a particular style and approach and sound, to what I do on the guitar, and just as a musician, my vision for things and all that stuff. But it seemed to work really, really well with what these guys were already doing. And I think that's one of the other things that really took the music to new places on this album. People are going to hear, a lot of stuff from me that they've never heard before, which I think is really cool. It's really cool for me, at least. Yeah, there's a lot of great acoustic moments on this record, and it's really interesting stuff. And, like I said, it all ties into that Western theme. Lyrically, a lot of the songs are based on old, real characters, real people that lived years ago, like real outlaw cowboys and shady ladies, and the stories are really cool, and it's just, everything, like I said, works together, with the music and the vibe and the vision and the aesthetic of everything, which is really cool.
Everything I've seen and heard so far is very intriguing because you've got that whole sound thing going on. You're obviously in the band now, heavier guitars, all that great stuff. And then you've got a cover song on there that's rather unexpected. You got a couple special guests, including King Diamond. Tell us about that.
King Diamond. Well, for me, it's amazing to be a part of something that he's singing on. You know, he's been a huge influence on me over the years. For me, Abigail is one of the best metal records of all time, and it's a record that I listen to consistently. It's actually in my phone. I listen to it all the time. It's just a killer record. And, you know, same with these guys. They grew up listening to King Diamond. Of course, you know, they're from Denmark as well as King Diamond, and there's that whole connection. But, yeah, it's just an honor for us, you know, that he you know, guested on the record. And the song is killer. You know, it's kind of a nod to everything that he did over the years and everything that inspired us, basically.
Well, as if people couldn't already hear by the fact that you're on your cell phone chatting with me right now, you are out on the road.
I'm on the road.
You've had the opportunity now to perform live with Volbeat, which was what you wanted to capture in the studio anyway. What's the experience been like so far getting on the stage, playing the new songs, playing the old classic stuff, and just being on stage with these guys?
It's been amazing. To be honest, it's been absolutely amazing and tons of fun. You know, in January when I decided to join up with these guys, you know, in the middle of the recording process, it turned into a very hectic thing for me because not only did I have all this responsibility of, you know, finishing the record and making sure everything was cool and we were on time and all that stuff, but I had to learn. I learned like 25 songs in a week.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, crazy. And we did a small tour in Denmark. It's kind of a special thing for the fans over there because Volbeat hasn't been there. They hadn't been there in a long time. So, and that was my first run with the guys. And you know, now we're here in the States, and this is my first time in the States with Volbeat. And it's been crazy. The shows have been insane. Really, really great. The vibe is great. There's such an excitement and a buzz about everything. It just feels really good, you know.
And how much of Outlaw Gentlemen and Shady Ladies are fans going to get to hear on this new tour?
We're actually figuring that out as we go along. We're trying different things. We're definitely playing a few songs off the new record and some snippets here and there. You know, the crowd might not know what the hell they're listening to, so we'll play like you know, a whole intro section to one of the new songs, and then we'll stop. But you know, just giving everyone a taste, and also for us to get used to playing some of these new tunes live. You know, it's very cool. But yeah, we're trying different things and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Obviously, that is all going to change when the record's out and people know the new stuff. And you know, but we're playing some new tunes now. We're playing a song called "Hangman's Body Count," which is a lot of fun, and it's going over great every night. We're doing a song called "Lola Montez," which is also going over great. So yeah, it's gonna be killer.
Nice. And then of course I'm assuming more songs from the new album will be added after the album comes out and people can actually have heard it by then. But
yeah, exactly.
So at the end of the day, would you rather be remembered when all is said and done as a guitarist, a musician, or as a producer?
I'd rather be remembered as a musician because that kind of encompasses everything.
There you go.
You know? I just love making music or making noise, whatever you want to call it. I just love it. You know, whether I'm in the studio or whether I'm on stage, you know, for me, it's not that different. You know, it's all about, you know, making music from the heart and moving people with it, or you know, trying to connect with people, and you know, that's what it's all about for me.
Excellent. So, the last couple questions before we get out of here. Obviously, you're going to be swamped now for the next couple of years, touring and everything, the cycle with Volbeat. What's going on with the damn things? Will we ever see a second album?
I think so. I have no idea when, but you know, the thing with that band is, you know, obviously it's a scheduling nightmare. Right. We all live in different places, and we're all doing, you know, so many different things. I'm sure, you know, Fall Out Boy is back together, and they're doing their thing right now, and they're about to get really busy as well.
Right.
So Joe and Andy are doing that. But yeah, I think it's going to go down at some point. It's just a matter of when, and you know, if it works for everyone's schedule. I'm really proud of that Damn Things record, and we had a blast doing it. The tour was great, and you know, it was just killer all around. So I think it's something that I think we all want to do, and it's just a matter of figuring things out.
Nice.
You know.
All right, so our totally pointless and random question of the week. What current pop culture trend would you eliminate immediately if you had the power to do so?
Wow. Pop culture trends. I don't even know if I'm up on all the current pop culture trends.
Actually, it's the current pop culture trend or person. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't know. That's an interesting question.
I've been asking everybody this week. I've gotten reality television to Nicki Minaj and Justin Bieber to technology.
Yeah, I mean, just you know, I would say Justin Bieber, but at the same time, that kid's doing something right. You know what I mean?
Either that, or we're doing something wrong that he could be so popular. But
yeah, I mean, well, power to him.
Rob Caggiano of Volbeat, and of course his time with Anthrax and the Damn Things. Thank you so much for taking time to talk with us. The new album, Outlaw Gentlemen and Shady Ladies, out on the 9th, out on tour right now with Danko Jones and Spoken. Get out and check it out. Before we get out of here, famous last words.
See you in the pit.